Well, hi guys, welcome back to Linda's Pantry. And today I'm making, as you see in the title, hamburger buns. And I might give you two. I'm probably going to do some little slider buns and some regular sized hamburger buns. So this is a big recipe. You can do this however you want. I did heat up to boiling my water in here, 2.5 cups of water, 3 tablespoons of butter, which is melted. And let me bring you in close because this goes really, really fast. The hardest part is waiting for that to cool down, which it's cooled down quite a bit, but I want to bring you in so you see what's going on. And I hope that you stay and watch this because tomorrow I'm going to be making the most divine pork tenderloin sandwich on these buns, and I want to bring you along on how I do it. It's a Midwestern thing, but you know what? I love exploring different cultures and different areas of the country and the things that they love to eat, and usually it's a winner pork tenderloin dinner. All right, so let's get to make the bread that's going to go with this, and or the buns. Hamburger buns. Why would you buy them? They're so expensive. I bought some the other day, 8 buns, which, okay, it was $6.49. What? And so literally you could make 12 for less than $2. And why wouldn't you? So we're gonna do it. All right, stick with me. Okay, so I've got my water here. It's about 135 degrees. It is not cooled down enough for the yeast, but I wanted to bring you along for the rest of it. So I went down in the basement, which is now my pantry because we're tearing this kitchen out. If you looked over there, you see there's no walls except for the studs. We have to put some beams in though. So we want 2 tablespoons of sugar. Yeah, I pegged that just about right. Okay, we could actually put all 3 tablespoons in there, but I'm not going to. Okay, we don't need them super sweet, although if you were doing kind of a Amish style recipe, you might want to do that. I am going to be using today some diastatic malt powder. It doesn't make things taste like malt, but it's a dough conditioner and it is wonderful. It makes you'll be shocked. So now we want to put the salt in here. Sometimes I put it in, I want to dissolve it in there. So we're going to grab, and this is sea salt, 2 teaspoons of sea salt. And we'll just give it a little whisk. And that's also got the 3 tablespoons of butter, 2.5 cups of filtered water, and you're good to go. I'm going to go ahead and leave this whisk out just in case I need it. Here in a minute, I might need it. So, have you made hamburger buns yourself? If so, leave me a comment in the comment section. Now I'm going to get my flour and my potato flakes and my dough enhancer. I'm going to get that all ready. And we'll take this water, or this mixture's temperature right now. We need it to be between 109 and 113, and it's at 136. So we still have a ways to go. But this dough enhancer, for every 3 cups of flour, you're going to use 1 teaspoon of diastatic malt powder. So what this does, if you, okay, so this improves the dough. Let's see. Food source element, okay. So okay, when it comes to leavening loaves, put simply, organisms responsible for bread rise don't get the fuel they need to succeed. This can not only give these fungi much needed boost, but it helps overall bread quality by fine-tuning texture, creating a crave-worthy crumb, and color, formulating finger-licking flavor. Don't be surprised when it becomes your new secret weapon for banging breads and perfect pizzas. Whatever your baking needs, prepare for liftoff. Okay, I'm super excited about that. I had never read that. That's very fun. Okay, now we're going to set our yeast apart. We are going to start with 6 cups of flour. This makes a lot, but why wouldn't you? Okay, and I'm not one of those that, I'm not that persnickety about the flour. I'm scooping in, and I'm gonna grab some, kind of level it off. 2 and 3, and I know a lot of you bread makers that want to scoop it into the cup, and then, I don't know, 4, 5, one more, which means we need 2 teaspoons of the diastatic malt. And 2 teaspoons of that, which is nothing. And this isn't expensive, but I'll leave you a link down in the description box for this. Level off your teaspoon and put that right there. And this is it's a resealable bag, so you don't have to worry about that. Seals right back up, just like last time. So there you go. This package will last you for several loaves because it's, what, 7 ounces. You're only using a couple teaspoons or 1 teaspoon at a time. I've got a half of a cup of potato flakes. That's going right in the mixer. And we'll give this a stir on the Bosch and let it stir because we don't want any clumps of any oddball stuff. And you could sift it together, but that's not necessary. Okay, I'm going to save out my teaspoon measure for my yeast that I keep in the refrigerator. The rest of the big block is in the freezer. And this yeast, believe it or not, I keep telling you guys, it's 10 years old and it works like a champ. So that can go in the dishes. And now we'll check this temp one more time. I know it hasn't cooled down enough, but 129. 130, 131.5. Okay, I'm going to put this in the refrigerator till I get it down to about 113. Usually that's my sweet area. We may or may not need more flour because it can take up to 7.5 cups of flour. But depending on the humidity in your house and what the environment is, it could take less. So I start with 6 and go from there. All right. I'll be back when that is cooled down enough. Okay, so my water and butter and salt and sugar have cooled off. They're plenty. And I'm going to do 3 teaspoons of yeast. Actually 4. This is a pretty big recipe. I believe it's 3.5, but that's okay. It won't hurt a thing if you add a little bit of extra yeast. Definitely a good yeast dough. So we're gonna get this all whiskey, and let that go ahead and proof a little bit. I don't remember if this is instant yeast or not. I always proof my yeast. So we're gonna proof that and wash off our thermometer. And let me bring you back when it's all proofed. I have my oven open, but I started to preheat it to warm, and then I forgot. So it's too warm for a proofing oven, but that's okay. We got the door open, and we'll let it cool off, and it's a nice warm day. It's just very windy. I just went out and put a pork tenderloin on the smoker on the Traeger, and it's windy. So I expect a bad hair day here in a minute. Anyway, okay, I'm going to be back with the proofed yeast. I have no worries that that's going to proof just fine. Okay, so that took literally about a minute. Can you see that layer of frothy? You could watch it move. Yeah, so we're going to turn the Bosch on. And I do have a link down below for Bosch mixers if you are interested in getting one for yourself. It's the Cadillac of bread mixers. I've still got my old stand mixer, and I love it, but it can't handle this much dough. So we're just gonna watch and see if we need any more flour. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. So I'm gonna give it a minute or two and let it rehydrate and get happy. If I start adding flour now, I could end up with a really stiff, unpleasant dough, and I don't want to do that. So we're just going to give it a minute and see what we have. Let's move this bad boy a little closer to the action. Let's see what it looks like. So if I take that lid off, okay, it's not very sticky. We might be right on the money at 6 cups. So we're going to go ahead and keep going. And this is going to knead for 7 minutes. So set your timer for 7 minutes and I'll be back. And it goes on a pretty high speed to knead it. So, but boy, does it do a beautiful job. All right, we'll be back. Okay, woo! 7 minutes later, looky. Oh, and when you push down on that dough, it's a little tacky, but I want it soft. So you want a little wetter dough. The more flour you add, like I said, you're gonna have a tougher dough. So we don't want that. We're gonna get this right off here. It will stick to itself. Okay, we'll get this off of my machine attachment and off my thumb and my finger. Okay, and if I have a little left on me, and it's quite all right. Okay, so there's that, and this cleans up so nice. This Bosch is amazing. I really appreciate, and I had this for years, and I only used it once or twice because I kept using that vintage stand mixer, you know, because I had a little bit of I still do, a little bit of a attachment to it for some whatever reason. So I'm gonna set that in the sink. I'm gonna get this out of here and into my bowl. So we can take this bowl right off. We're gonna move this out of my way. Here, I'm actually gonna set it over here, down here. And then hopefully you can see. I don't know how well this is gonna fare for me, to tell you the truth. It could be good, it could be bad. Okay, we're just gonna start at the bottom and try to get this all out of here. And you get the drift. We're gonna get this dough out of this Bosch mixing bowl into my other. It could have used a little bit more flour, but I already put the flour downstairs. I'm not adding anything else. We're gonna do it like this. So you get the gist. I'm gonna get this dough out of here. I wanna show you. So it's a little sticky, but when you press it down on the dough, it grabs it off your fingers. So honestly, this dough is perfect. You wanna go on the side of wet to dry. Too dry, you're gonna have a dry, dense dough crumb, I should say, when in the end. So we don't want that. I'd rather have to do this and get it off my hands than worry about it. And see, it just goes right onto the dough ball. And is it kind of a pain? A little bit, but if you learn to work with a wetter dough, you will end up with the softest crumb. And when you're talking about hamburger buns, I don't want a big old dense hamburger bun. I want a soft and lofty burger bun. Okay, I've already sprayed this dish with avocado oil, and now I'm gonna make sure that all sides have oil because I don't want any resistance as this doubles in size over the next hour or so. It's going in that warm proofed oven, and I'll be back. I'm going to cover this with plastic wrap, and I'll be back when we've got our dough ready to form into our burger buns. All right. Okay, guys, sorry. It is so windy, and I got distracted. I got a pork tenderloin down on the Traeger. I can't get the Traeger to smoke. I have cleaned it out. It heats up, and I can hear the auger sending pellets, obviously, but no smoke. So if any of you know why, let me know. This has doubled in size. And now I'm going to go ahead and turn this out. I have my clean rolling mat out, and there's my dough. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. I know this is a soft dough, but I'm telling you, you're going to appreciate this in the end. Okay, so I have an egg wash here, 1 fresh chicken egg, tablespoon of water, whippity whippity. And now we're gonna get our rolls and our hamburger buns. Well, it's burger buns and slider buns. Come on, not rolls, but kind of the same thing, not really, sort of. Okay, come on in. Okay, so I've taken my rings off, or at least all of them, but my wedding ring. And I'm just going to pull this into a kind of a log, if you will, and we'll just even it up. We're gonna go ahead and we'll cut it in half with the dough scraper. Okay, we'll put that blob right over there, and then we're gonna, I've got a big 9 by 13. It might even be bigger, but I think that's what it is. That's where the sliders are gonna go. So we're just gonna take off some little guys here, and you're gonna take and make yourself a nice little ball, okay? Once you get a ball, and these are small, these are probably an ounce, maybe 2 ounces, okay? We don't want these very big. And then you're gonna go ahead, smash it down. This is where the soft dough comes in, right? Oh, it's so cute. And we'll put that right in there. And let's just, now, if you really wanted to be persnickety, you can weigh them out. I see that one looks a little smaller. Get myself a ball, smash it out. And we're making little sliders, so. And, okay. Okay, now, little slider buns, I love it. So I'm just going to continue this, and then I'll show you a burger bun, which is obviously, it's about 3 ounces or 3.5 ounces for a burger bun. I actually want a little bit a bigger burger bun. And this is so nice. This dough is so soft. It just grabs onto itself, and if the dough was drier, it would not cooperate at all. You don't need any flour for these. And this I'm going to put over here on my parchment paper and smash it out. Get it? Yeah. These are going to have a chance to rise. Okay. And that's what we're going to be doing for a hot minute. Okay. Smash it out. Get any air pockets out of there. These are gonna, and put some space between them because they are going to rise to the occasion. And they're gonna end up touching and kissing each other, and that's okay. I want 3 across. So let me do one more burger, and then we'll get to the rest of the sliders, and you guys can come back when it's all done. So the dough is sticky and soft, but wow, it's not leaving anything on my hands because of the butter that's in there. And I don't mind if every burger bun isn't exactly the same. I'm okay with that. If I was going to sell them, obviously I would work on weighing them out. But I'm not. I am making homemade slider buns and hamburger buns. So, yeah. I am not concerned, and I'm not even concerned if they're all perfectly round. I'm good if they're not. That's fine. Okay. And here we go. Give it a big smash. Okay. And these will get pretty lofty. Soft and lofty. That's what we wanted, right? Okay. I'll be back when I am done with this project. Okay, so now that I'm done, I have 15 slider buns, and these have to rise. I have 10 burger buns. The last ones are a little bit smaller, but I'm okay with that. I didn't weigh them out, and I intentionally did that. They're homemade. They're for us. I like a smaller bun sometimes, so I'm not opposed to having them be different sizes. I'm going to wash this mat. My oven is preheating to 375. These are gonna sit over on top of the stove where it's nice and warm and double in size again, and then we'll put our egg wash on and get them in the oven. Okay guys, oh my gosh. Between phone calls and all the good things that happen, you know, when you're just doing your thing. I got my egg wash. These have risen, and they will rise some more in the oven, but they're beautiful. I just love this. Look at this. Beautiful. They might not all be perfectly round, and I don't care. And neither does my husband. In fact, I actually like more rustic breads, and and then I typically only eat half the bun if I eat a bun at all. So these smaller ones are going to be mine. So be careful with your brush, because that kind of deflated that one a little bit. You're just putting an egg wash on here. You could do without the egg wash. You could put butter. A lot of people will put butter on their buns. And these in here, I am so excited about little slider buns. I want to make like slider chicken ranch sliders or something fun with these. If you have any ideas of what you would make with them in the comment section, please let me know what you would make with these slider buns. And again, they're not perfect, but they're mine. And they're going to be delicious because this dough is so good. And then the excess egg that you have, you can, if you have dogs, you can actually scramble that up and give it to your dogs. Okay, these are going in the 375-degree oven, and I'll bring you back when they're all done. Okay, guys, these are out of the oven, and the whole house smells like fresh baked bread. It smells amazing. I'm going to take this small one, nice and brown, golden brown on the top, and we're going to cut into one. The slider buns look fantastic. This is a smaller one, but I wanted to, they're cooled off. I waited till they cooled off completely so I could give you a crumb. Ooh, look at that. That's your burger bun. And it smells absolutely, oh my gosh. Like, you know, fresh baked bread smells good, but when you get like this kind of fresh baked bread that you just go, oh yeah, I might have to have a bite. just with some butter, or we'll just have a bite. How about that? We'll taste this bun. Oh, I like that crispy bottom. Okay. That has such a great texture. Super soft. Crispy on the bottom. We're going to like this. And then the top, you know, we just have that soft top. So no need to butter the tops on this. Oh yeah. That's a beautiful burger bun. So we're gonna have our burger, or not our burgers, but we're gonna have buns for burgers and for our delicious sandwiches. And then the little sliders. These are gonna be fun. Not too much bun, which I really like. These got nice and golden brown on the bottom. And again, we just take and let's cut into that. Nice. There you go. Look at the crumb. There we go. All right, guys. I can't wait to see you next time for another delicious recipe. Oh my gosh. I gotta stop eating bread. And I hope that this inspires you to make your own hamburger buns. This literally cost me less than $2 to make all of this. And we've got meals, we've got bread, and this won't go bad. This, I'm gonna stick this in a bag, and what am I gonna do with it? I'll make breadcrumbs out of it. I will make croutons out of it. You don't have to waste one bit of this bread dough. So I do hope that it inspires you to come back next time. Hit the thumbs up, and if you are interested in the recipe, it's down there in the description box, and we'll see you next time for another delicious recipe. Bye. So I hope if you're not a subscriber, you'll hit that subscribe button and come back for more recipes just like this. These were so good. We've had them a couple times now, and I absolutely love them.